something to say. From the draft to the Stanley Cup, if you love the game, turn it up.
McDavid, McKinnon, and Beddard.
All of the players of high regard,
We'll cover them all and not just the stars.
report on every play fit for a memoir.
Every moment the passion's real. From the puck drop to OT thrill. We're talking hockey, we always will. Bar down, let's go.
Oh, 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 BarDown Talking Hockey. Oh, 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 BarDown Talking Hockey. Oh, 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 oh,
Bar down, talking hockey.
oh, 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 oh,
Bar down, talking hockey.
What's up and welcome back to the BarDown Talking Hockey podcast, episode number 213, presented by the Barroom Network. It is the home of everything relating to the greatest sport in the world, the sport of hockey. My name is Vinny Parisi, and I'm not talking about my favorite hockey team this week, JK. We're having almost a whole period on it. And this right here, this is Frank Mueller, and he is the king of all beans. Frank? Yo.
What's up, VP? How you doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You like the background?
Yeah. Let's give a shout out to the Tom Mangarelli, Frank Mueller Olympic hockey background featuring 2 Team USA jerseys and 1 Team Canada.
Pretty cool.
Love it.
Pretty cool. Yep. Yeah, that's coming up soon. Going to be going on that Olympic break in the NHL.
Frank, it's been a long time since I've been this excited about a sporting event. I'm the sports guy, so like everything comes and goes at just kind of in waves. Like baseball season comes, eventually it's the World Series, but the hockey's in the beginning stages. Then it rolls through that whole season alongside football, and then it's the Super Bowl, and then it's March Madness. You know, the Triple Crown, NBA, Stanley Cup. I mean, it comes quick, it goes quick. Then every now and again, though, there's something dropped smack in the middle of it all that is not part of the regular yearly routine. And so when those types of things happen, I get a little extra excited. Like, I'm not just going with the motions during a tournament like that. Like, it's something to be super excited for. So I'm very eager to get it going, talk about it on the show once we get there. We're close to the Olympics, dude.
Next week is our last show before the Olympics.
Yeah. That's right, because the following week the games will start. I think that following Friday is the opening ceremony. Have we found out who's holding the American flag yet?
Maybe.
I hope it's a hockey player.
Are you saying
during
the ceremony?
During the ceremony. Always pretty close to last in the lineup. Is Italy going to go first or last? I forget if the host country goes first.
They go last.
They go, and then Greece goes first because they invented the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't think Italy goes first. Yeah, they go
It's
last.
one or the other. The host country either goes first or last, and then Greece either goes first or last. I can't remember the exact way, but they always make a big deal out of who's holding the flag. Like I remember Chara held it for Slovakia one year. I'm pretty sure Sidney Crosby has held it for Team Canada.
And let's not forget, in 2 years, the United States hosts the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Vegas?
No, I think it's...
Or is it Salt Lake City?
I thought it was California.
It might be. I never pay attention to the Summer Olympics.
I think it's Los Angeles.
Once it's on, I'll watch it, but I'm not like locked into the Summer Olympics. The Winter Olympics is
I like all the Olympics, but winter's better, I think.
It would be better if you took hockey off of it. I really believe that.
Yeah, Los Angeles, VP.
Nice.
2028.
Nice. I wonder if there'll probably be events at SoFi Stadium, Staples Center. Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
Very cool. Looking forward to that. Frank, there was one other thing I was gonna touch on. I was scrolling through TikTok today, something I almost never do. And I saw this guy who records his dad, who's like an angry Italian dad. And it is one of the funniest things.
Is it Joe? Joe Mele?
I have no idea.
And does he have a Boston accent or something, like an Italian accent? It kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
I don't know his face.
What do you mean you don't know either guy's face? The
Not-
Italian dad?
The dad always has freaking, like, his name's Kirk. Kirk Madeline.
No, I don't think it is then.
Yeah, it's so funny. He goes up to his dad, like, lays him up to get angry about something. And then the dad's like, "What the F are you talking about, jerk off, fucking idiot?"
No, it's a
It's
different guy.
so funny. It is so funny.
I thought okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I know who that is.
Maybe
if I saw
I'll send you a video. I was dying laughing. And then people editing Michael Rappaport
it.
into Blink 182.
Yeah.
Watching, waiting, commiserating Colton. Commiserating Colton. It's so funny. I'll have to send you that one too.
Shout out to traders.
Shout out to traders. Maybe we'll touch on it at the end. But Frank, we got some business to take care of first, and we're going to do so in period number 1. Welcome to period 1. Frank, let's talk about our crappy teams.
Okay.
We're going to start with the New Jersey Devils, who made a rather large trade yesterday. After declaring him a scratch due to roster-related reasons. Are the Blackhawks the first team to ever do that in your memory? I can't recall a team doing it before the Blackhawks did with Patrick Kane. They would always just be quiet about why a guy was healthy scratched, and you had to assume.
Yeah, I would say so because I can't think of another example of one that would happen.
Yeah, there were a handful last year, the year before, but the year they traded Kane to the Rangers, I recall I was like, what the hell kind of freaking notification is this? He's being healthy scratched for roster management reasons. So that was weird. But that's what happened to Andre Palat yesterday. They traded him to the New York Islanders along with a 3rd-round pick, a 6th-round pick in exchange for Maxim Shiplikov. Sends Andre Palat's contract out, and they give up a 3rd and a 6th in order to do so.
Devils right now, they're not in a spot to be buyers, right? So instead, they're going to have to sell some pieces. And, they trade Andre Palat to a division rival, the Islanders, who are in a playoff race. And, in return, like you said, they get Maxim Shiplikov. Is that how you say it?
Shiplikov.
I like that the Devils are adding youth here. They've been wanting to move Palat's contract for a few months now in an effort to free up some cap space. And the way the season has gone for the Devils so far, Palat hasn't been having the greatest of years, so I can imagine that this is the Islanders' way of wanting a little veteran depth heading into the postseason if they happen to make it, which it looks the way the East looks right now. It's looking pretty good that they'll at least make a wild card spot, but it's something the Devils have been wanting to do for some time now, moving Palat.
Yeah, Shiplikov's 27, so
it makes sense.
It's not anything other than a roster dump. Shiplikov, he's not going to do anything for them.
You don't think so?
No. He has 1 goal and 1 assist in 27 games played. The Islanders have been healthy scratching him. He might play 10 games and then he'll be gone. This was strictly a roster dump. They wanted Palat gone. This actually tells to me, if anything, if this was a rebuilding trade, they wouldn't have given up picks to get rid of Palat. They would have just kept Palat and used the picks. This trade is telling people they don't think they're out of it. I don't know if I agree that they're not out of it, but every team in the East except for the Rangers is a 5-game winning streak from being in the playoff picture, but they're saving money for something. Are they going to go trade for a scoring winger in the top 6? I don't know. But this was nothing more than a roster dump. Andre Palat's been bad. I don't really get why the Islanders did this. He's not moving a needle for them.
It's got to be veteran purposes heading into that postseason.
I guess. And Matthew Darsh has history with Palat in Tampa Bay, their GM. But I think there were better options for Tampa Bay to add to their bottom 6, or for New York to add to their bottom 6. I thought Palat was going to go to a team like the Blackhawks or the who's terrible? Columbus, Calgary, Vancouver. That's the type of team I thought he was going to, because a rebuilding team would take on money
Right.
knowing it'll help them reach the cap floor next year and get a 3rd-round pick and 6th-round pick out of it. The Islanders are going to the playoffs. I just don't know. And there were better options for experience, for depth, for scoring than Palat. Nazem Kadri would have done all of that.
And that's what I think it is, VP. I think it's just more of that veteran presence on a team heading into the postseason. That's the only thing I can think of, because he's not having a great year.
No, and I think there are better players who could have provided that.
100%.
I don't get like Kadri. He won 1 cup, Palat won 2, but they both have multiple deep playoff runs. Kadri's a way better player. I don't really, and Calgary was a team that I would picture in that mix to make a trade like this.
Yeah.
Take draft picks and a bad contract to reach the cap floor. I actually thought there was a chance it was the Blackhawks when they first announced. And then I was like, the Islanders? Why are the Islanders doing it? Like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me that they help the Devils. But why would you help a division rival and take on a bad contract? It just makes no sense to me. Maybe if he has a big postseason, and
which can happen, he could have a lousy regular season.
Could happen.
He's in the postseason. He might have 6 goals this postseason for them. You don't know.
It could happen, but do you see it?
I don't see it. I don't really see the Islanders making a deep run anyway, and I don't think he'll have like 5 or 6 goals in the first round. So no, I do not see it. But that is the only thing that I could think of is them. They want somebody with experience of winning a cup on the team, because you think of the Islanders, man. There's not a lot of experience there. I mean, there is, but not a lot of playoff experience.
I think there's a world the Islanders, before making this Palat trade, I don't know about now, I could have seen them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Really?
No, yeah, because nobody in the Metro is that good. Carolina, they're probably the team that I would assume will represent the East or the Metro in the Eastern Conference Finals, unless one of those 4th or 5th place teams in the Atlantic win a couple rounds and nobody from the Metro makes it. But I mean,
but there's a lot of teams they could play that I think would be coin flips too.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it would just, I don't see them winning every coin flip to the Eastern Conference Finals. They could win a round, maybe. I probably, at this stage, if the season ended today, I probably would not take them to win the series.
I would probably take them to beat Pittsburgh.
Is that, see, I would not. They like Pittsburgh. I wouldn't, I'm not saying they will, but Pittsburgh is one of those teams that could go on and win the cup. They could. I strongly believe that.
I mean, they have.
And we're going to talk about Pittsburgh in the second. We're gonna talk about them in the second period. Now, I'm not saying that.
I'm starting to hear you say that.
My preseason prediction is not that far off. My preseason prediction was the Lightning against the Stars in a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final with the Stars winning. And right now, that is very, very possible, especially with the Lightning in the East making it to the Cup. That's very possible. And I still believe that they will make it to the Cup, the Tampa Bay Lightning. But right now, you're telling me Crosby and Malkin are lead. I don't even want to touch on this right now because I kind of want to save it
for sure
for the second period.
I got you. I'm just saying.
But there's no time in my mind that I could go against Pittsburgh right now against the Islanders.
I get that. To me, it's one of those coin flips. And then they play Carolina, who always finds a way to choke in the conference finals.
They do. They get swept too, man.
And it could happen in the second round too. I don't think Carolina's that much better than the Islanders right now. I just don't. And I don't think they're that much better than the Penguins either. If the Penguins won that first round, I would consider taking the Penguins over the Hurricanes. All 3 of those teams could make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. The only thing is the wild card is almost certainly going to be one of the wild card that jumps into the Metro side of the playoff bracket is almost certainly going to be a team from the Atlantic. So yeah. Buffalo, Montreal, Boston, Florida, if one of those teams sneaks into that metropolitan division and then comes out to play in the Eastern Conference Finals from that side, that wouldn't shock me at all either.
Do you really wouldn't? Like last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the standings in the Eastern Conference. That's wildly different than what it is now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking a look at the standings, and I know we're talking about the Devils. I'm sorry to say this, but I think they're cooked.
Yeah, I do too.
With how well the Bruins have been playing, and the Bruins currently hold on to that last wild card spot. I mean, it's looking steep. They've lost 2 games in a row. They need to climb over 5 teams just to squeak into the wild card, which that's the problem with only 29 games left. They need to make up 9 points, but climbing over 5 teams and 9 points, it's just too much. And I'm stunned to be saying this right now because I predicted the Devils to be competing for the Metropolitan Division before the season started. But I mean, it's just they can't overcome injuries, VP. And I don't understand why the rest of the team collapses when some injuries come on. I mean, they shouldn't be that bad. And we talked about that last week. And I know you agree with me. They shouldn't be that bad if a guy goes down. No team that I've seen is that bad. Not even the Hawks were that bad when Bedard went down. There's something with the Devils, though. When they get certain injuries, they can't recover. And that's a problem because you're never going to go into a season where guys have no injuries.
I agree. I think they're cooked. I just think they don't think they're cooked, and they'll try to make a trade to add a scorer.
Which is, hey, good for them and good for the Islanders for helping them out, right? Like, if anything, that benefits the Devils.
Yeah,
They've been
100%.
trying to do this for a long time now.
100%. So, Frank, Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Been up and down. They had a 3-game point streak with Winnipeg, Tampa, and Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Did they go 1-2-1-0 or 2-0-1? 2-0-1. Beat Winnipeg, beat Carolina, lost to Tampa in a shootout, then lost to Florida on Sunday, and then lost to Minnesota in a shootout again yesterday. 4 game,
right? 2-1-2 in their last 5.
2-1-2 in their last 5.
Yeah.
Yes, and in their last 10, they are just 3-5-2. So they were struggling before that.
Yeah, last night, devastating loss against the Wild. You're struggling. Of all the Hawks games I watch, it's always like, all right, we've made it 2-0. Can you make it 3-0? They struggle to make it 3-0 when they're ahead 2-0, and they were able to make it 3-0 against one of the hottest teams in the NHL this season. And then you go ahead and choke the game, and you dominated the game offensively. If you want to take a look at time on attack, shots on goals, opportunities, it's just you gave the wrong opportunities to one of the best teams in the NHL this year. And what I've seen from the Blackhawks this season is that the team has struggled to close out games and get over the line. And this is something that is going to continue to improve over time. The good thing is that they already have key components of their core, and their core isn't complete yet. It will continue to keep growing over the next couple of years, but there are really great key pieces that are on this team that are improving. And like you said, while they only have 3 wins in their last 10 games, they're still a very, very competitive team. I mean, to put everything into perspective right now and just show how improved that this team really is, I'm going to give you a couple little stats over the past few seasons. So right now they've played 53 games. Through the 2023-2024 season, through 53 games, they were 14-36-3. Horrendous. 22 games under 500, 31 points. Horrible. Last year, through 53 games, they were 16-31-6, 38 points. Okay, we made a 7-point jump, made up 2 wins through 53 games. Things are starting to improve a little bit, not much, but a little bit. This season, through 53 games, they're 21-23-9. Wow, we made a 13-point improvement and and made up 5 extra wins through 53 games. They have 20 more points in the standings now through 53 games than they did 2 years ago, and 13 more points than they did last year at this time. Those are some big improvements. That's about a 6.5 game improvement of total points right there. And they have some impressive wins under their belt this season. So in my opinion, yeah, they've stunk in their last 10. They're competitive. They're really improving each and every year. And I think the stats speak for themselves. So I think in the long run, they're going to be just fine. And really, you really can't complain with what they've done this year, VP. They've beaten some good teams and they kept it close against a lot of good teams. They are 1 shootout goal away from beating the Lightning. They were up 3-0 on the Wild. They just can't close out games. But I think that all comes to you with the experience over the years.
And they stay close in games that they stink.
Yeah.
They were not good against Carolina, and they found a way to win. They were even worse one night later against Tampa Bay, and they almost won, and it went to a shootout. Because I really don't get how in the final minutes of the game, the final seconds of the game, or no, it was an overtime, how that puck didn't cross the line. I forget exactly, was it Nazar who had it, or it was on the goal line and he like tucked it just wide. Like I couldn't believe
I was stunned.
that puck didn't go in. So they were that close on that try.
I was against the Lightning, I think.
It was against the Lightning, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And they didn't play well in that game.
But that's what I mean. They keep games close, and when you're close in games, when it's 2-2 late in the third, I don't care how bad you played. That's anybody's game, and they've proved that because that's just how hockey works. But we're seeing improvements here. I mean, we've made a 20-point improvement through 53 games over the past 2 seasons, and I only expect that to get better. VP, really, I think we're in a good shape going forward.
100%. I'm trying to find quickly my article from that Lightning game because that was the fact that they got a point was truly unbelievable. Because it was a bad game against the Lightning. I have some stats.
They've played a lot of bad games like that this year.
Yeah, I think if they didn't go to a shootout, you would have considered it their worst game of the season. If they lost in regulation, you would have called it their worst game of the season. Especially if they lost by multiple goals, but played the exact same game. Soderblom made 2 less saves. You would have called that their worst game of the season. Hold on. I have stats here if I can find them. No. They were outchanced 72-40. My God. That was one of the stats that I had, but I thought I had some about their even strength shots on goal through 2 periods. They were like triple. They were down 21-6 in shots through 2 periods.
Yeah, that was stunning. I couldn't believe that. They had 4 shots on goal, I think, or it was either 4 or 2 shots on goal after the first period.
Yeah, it was really, really, it was a lousy first 2 periods. They dominated the overtime period. They play well in 3-on-3.
I cannot believe they didn't win in overtime.
I know. And that would have been a bad loss for the Lightning. Their penalty kill is immaculate.
I
think they're 8 straight games without giving up a power play goal. I think it's 20, or they only had to kill once yesterday against the Wild. Or yeah, they only had to kill once.
Crazy, aren't they first in the league?
They're first in the league for sure.
Yeah.
They gave up. Yeah, they had 1 penalty kill yesterday, and they killed it. So that's 18 kills in a row over 8 games, and that has brought them up to number 1 in the league. It's incredible. Mikheyev might be the best pure penalty killer in the NHL. I actually think he is. If you're strictly there to kill penalties, he's the best in the NHL. The only ones you would probably take are like the McDavids and the Draisaitl's because of what they could do offensively. But as far as penalty killing, it's hard to beat Mikheyev's prowess in that department, and he plays a big role in it. And so does Spencer Knight, Frank Nazar, Oliver Moore getting added to the group. Speed and tenacity combined leads to being a great penalty killer. Throw a little skill in there, and they'll score a shorty here and there. But their power play has plummeted. 0 for 5 against the Minnesota Wild, and I don't even know what they are right now. I forgot to look after yesterday's game. They were up to 7th in the NHL before this current slump that they're in. And now they're in 17th, 19.9%. It was in the 23s, 7th in the NHL before this bad streak. So to say they've plummeted is an understatement, but I thought they looked better against the Wild yesterday on the power play. They were moving the puck, creating chances. Wallsted's a very good goalie, but you still got to score. And if you score 1 power play, if you go 1 for 5 yesterday, 20%, which is probably close to league average. Smack dab in the middle of the league, 16th place is 20.9%. And then right below them is the Blackhawks, under 20. 1 out of 5, you win the game. Doesn't even go to overtime. So it's definitely something that they're working on. They're changing up the units a little bit. We'll see how it goes tomorrow against Pittsburgh, who, by all accounts, has a good penalty kill themselves. Yes, 83.6%. So top six. They're sixth in the league. So we'll see how it goes. But and then a little bit of housekeeping on the Blackhawks. Nick Lardis sent to the AHL as Teuvo Teravainen comes back from injuries. They used Doc and Lafferty as the extras yesterday. I assume they both play tomorrow against the Penguins because it's the mom's trip, and I heard everybody was playing at least one of the games. So we'll see who comes out. I would assume – I don't even know who's going to come out. Slaggert will probably come out, and then they're not going to scratch Oliver Moore. There's no way.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Hold on, I could think of this right now really quick. Who would they scratch to get both Doc and nobody's hurt, which is the first time they've had all these available forwards with Teuvo coming back. Slaggert and maybe Burakovsky watches a game from up top.
So yeah, I wouldn't even think that.
Maybe they won't all. Blashill said they'd all play, but I don't know who comes out besides Slaggert. Slaggert will come out easy, probably for Doc. If they're putting Lafferty in, though, I don't even not Foligno. Not benching the captain. You're probably not scratching Donato. He scored yesterday. You can't take Green or Moore out of the lineup, especially when Bedard can't take faceoffs. That can't happen. Burakovsky, he didn't have the greatest game.
I know, but I don't see them scratching him.
I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty much been the same six defensemen since they sent Rinzel down, though. So we'll see. I would have ventured to guess they use Arvid Soderblom tomorrow against the Pens. It might be night again, though, and then they use Soderblom on Friday against the Blue Jackets. I don't know. It usually goes 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. So I don't know. We'll see. Excited about the Hawks, though. So I'm gonna try and get Matt Grzelcyk in a 1-on-1 on Sunday, and then do a feature on him, and then I could share the feature on the show.
Yeah, you should.
Because I want to go over some stuff about Boston University with him. I found out that there's a bench press or a squat machine, a squat rack, named after a bunch of guys who donated money for them to refurbish the workout room at BU. And there's a Grzelcyk rack. There's a McAvoy rack. There's an Eichel rack. So I want to talk to him about that. And that kind of gave me the idea. He's played with some good leaders in his career. Chara, Bergeron, Crosby, Malkin. How does that help him be a leader on a team now, especially a young team? I'm going to dive into this. We're going to get some good Grzelcyk conversation next week because they could trade him too as a UFA, and I'll probably ask him about that too. You should. Have you ever been in trade rumors before? Did anybody float your name around throughout your life? He's going to say yes. If I ask him that, based on the flow of the conversation. But all right, Frank, that's the Hawks and the Devils. They both stink for different reasons. We'll talk about we'll blast through some NHL news and notes in period number 2. Tom says, I loved the Hawks putting all forwards out on the power play in overtime. I couldn't believe they didn't score. That was crazy. I agree. I like when teams do that. I've seen many teams, unless you have a Hughes or Makar, and it would be stupid to bench one of them. They're probably better than most of your forwards offensively. Unless you have a guy like that, why not? Especially if the power play's killing the rest of overtime. If you don't score, I don't know. I'm a pretty progressive thinker in all sports, so I do like that. The first team I remember doing it ever was the Wild. I remember one time they threw out Zach Parise, Jason Pominville, Mikko Koivu, and Mikhail Granlund to be a foursome on the
That
power
was
play.
a long time ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
That was
Yeah.
a long time
It's
ago.
the first team I ever remember seeing do it, though. It was a long time ago. Frank, you have no idea how much those Wild teams right here in my heart. I loved them. I'm not as locked in as I was when ZP was on the team, obviously, especially with work for the Blackhawks and covering the Devils for
Yeah.
Let's Go Devils. Like, those have to be the top two priorities. But the Wild are right there with the Bruins and teams I watch, and the Oilers, teams I watch, just for fun. But man, was I locked into those ZP Wild teams.
The Hawks did battle with them many times in the postseason
And always won.
and
3-0.
always won, no matter what.
It was a different time. It was
Yep.
a different time. That was before Kaprizov and Boldy and now Quinn Hughes. They signed Thomas Vanek. That was fun. Matt Molson, the goalies. The goalies throughout the time of me being obsessed, they had Nicholas Backstrom, Josh Harding. Who else? Devin Dubnyk, obviously. They had Brizgalov for a hot moment.
Yeah.
Young Darcy Kemper, promising young goalie prospect. I feel like I'm forgetting a big one. I said Dubnyk. Dubnyk saved their bacon one year.
I don't think so. I don't think you're missing anything.
Remember, Dubnyk was like, he came in a similar situation to like what the Devils are in right now, where like they were underperforming bad, and they were looking like a team that was going to miss the playoffs, but they were expected to be a cup contender. Like exactly the same thing the Devils are dealing with, and they traded for Dubnyk and then freaking went on a roll.
Yep.
Until they ran into the group of Hall of Famers in the second round.
All the time, dude. The Hawks would just find a way to win the series.
We'll never know if the Wild were truly the second best team in the West for any of those years. Because I do think for a handful, they were at least the third best team in the West for like a 3 or 4 year spell. The only team, obviously Chicago and then Los Angeles, I think was probably, and Anaheim was right there too for third best in the West.
Yeah. Corey Perry.
Yep, San Jose was up there. They had a couple years where they could have been the third best team in the West with the guy you often forget, Marlowe.
The Hawks ran into the Wild, and the Kings always ran into the Sharks.
Yeah, that's true.
Except the Hawks did beat the Sharks on their run in 2010, but
the Hawks, all three of their runs, they beat a unique California team in the conference finals.
That is true. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Never doubled up.
No.
We'll talk about football in the third period. The Rams playing the Seahawks was the first time they ever played someone twice with Sean McVay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They played 15 unique opponents, and then finally they got a second one.
Yeah,
the only teams Sean McVay hasn't played in the playoffs are the Commanders and the Giants. I think we talked about this.
We did.
I don't know why it popped in my head when we were talking about that, but all right, Frank, let's blast through some of these. Mitch Marner returned to the returned to Toronto as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. He got booed. He got booed hard. And then they played a little video for him. 45 seconds, maybe.
I can't believe he didn't score.
It was short. It was a short video. It was a short standing ovation. They did give him a standing ovation for that time. And then the rest of the game, they booed him. They booed him hard. What do you think of that scene?
It's a tough scene, VP. I kind of feel like it's dumb to boo him. I get it, right? I get it. I'd be upset too, but he did look at where they would be now if they didn't get rid of him. Like, he was a big part of their success. Just feel like booing him's kind of just being too much in that situation. I don't know if you agree, but
I couldn't agree more.
With me?
Loser behavior.
Yeah, it's just
to boo Mitch Marner. There are more reasons than even what you said. Yeah, they stink now. Like, we'll get to that in a second, too, as a side note to this conversation. They suck. The fans wanted him out. It was a general consensus by Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and anyone who argues with me can come get the smoke. They wanted him gone. He took a lot of blame for what happened over the last handful of years. First round this, second round that, Florida Panthers this, Boston Bruins that. Do you know in the entire Mitch Marner era, they played against the Bruins in the playoffs 3 times or 4 times? And do you
Makes
know
sense.
they had a 3-1 series lead in 3 out of the 4,
That's
and
crazy.
they lost all of them. All of them.
That can't happen.
They had a 2-1 series lead over Florida. Wasn't it 2-0? Might have been 2-0
Well, they led
last year.
3-1, didn't they?
They might have. They might. I don't remember. But they wanted him gone. It was general consensus that Mitch Marner, we need a shakeup. He's a change of scenery. Get him out. And they traded him. They traded him like in one of those trades where the other team can fleece you because they're just acquiring his rights. He's not
Yeah.
signed.
Mhm.
The Leafs were lucky to even get Nicholas Waugh out of him from Vegas. I mean, and he goes to Vegas. And listen, I'm not acting like Mitch Marner's this like winner. I don't think of him, and he's a great player, great winger, high volume offensive producer, power play, the whole great penalty killer. He was nominated for the Selke Trophy one year. I get it. Mitch Marner's a good player, but when I think of him, I don't think of Patrice Bergeron in the same vein. I don't think of Ryan Getzlaf in the same vein. Jonathan Taves, Sidney Crosby. Like these winners, these guys who just win. So it's not like the Leafs fans were even necessarily wrong to want to have a change up and get Mitch out of there and maybe use that money elsewhere. They suck right now. Clearly the money didn't go anywhere that's helping them. But I mean, I'm not even poo-pooing them for wanting a player out when it hasn't been working. If the route the Devils are taking right now, the path they're on, one of Hughes, Heischer, Meyer, or Brad are going to be gone. Like, they're going to make that move. Like, that happens to cores who don't get over the hump. It's not going to be Hughes or Heischer. The one of the other two, though. Like, like it was never going to be Matthews or Nylander. It was Marner. He's the contract guy. They wanted him gone. So to boo him the way they did, you want to jar him a little bit in warm-ups, maybe make a funny sign. Okay, that's fine. That's being a fan. A fan is short for
There are
fanatic.
reasons to boo certain players, absolutely.
Yeah, fan is
place.
short for fanatic. I get it. You don't have to have these like rational thoughts every single thing you do.
Do you remember when like Rick Nash was booed?
Yeah.
That makes sense though. Or do you disagree with that?
There are better examples. Like when a guy like Cutter Gauthier returns to Philly, and they booed him so hard, and that makes total sense. He got drafted by them and said, "I'm not playing for you," to the point where I'm not even answering Keith Jones's phone calls.
Yeah, you boo that man.
That is the type of guy you boo. You boo the hell out of him. That's not loser behavior, in my opinion. The Leafs fans, the way they treated Marner, you wanted him out. He was getting death threats. Was Marner looking at homes in Vegas in January, like they say? Maybe. That Elliot Friedman article. If you haven't read it, go to Friedman's Twitter. You'll find it. Got a shout out from Friedman on 32 Thoughts the other day for one of my Oliver Moore tweets.
That's awesome.
Was very happy about that. It was brilliant. So it didn't make Marner look very good on his way out, and he wouldn't waive the no trade call. There are reasons not to like Marner. I just think you wanted him out. What are you booing for? Especially to the extent, like I said, maybe a first time touching the puck, throw a couple jabs, maybe a funny sign.
You got to throw some jabs.
Shout out to Keegan Colasar for ripping that kid's jersey out of his hand that said Traders number 16. It was a Leafs jersey, and he ripped it out of his hand while walking on the ice. Marner didn't even see it. Loved that. And then I say all of this. And then what we saw from the Toronto Maple Leafs on the ice in that game against the Vegas Golden Knights, Frank, they're losers, man.
It's bad.
That is a losing, cursed team.
Just when I thought the Maple Leafs were making a run, I gave them credit. They're on my top 5 power rankings. Now they've fallen in a slump, 0-4-1 on a 5-game homestand.
I'd rather be the Devils.
They have a huge hole to climb out of, and it may not be possible this late in the year. They're kind of in the Devils' boat with the amount of points they have to make up.
Yeah, 100%.
You give up 6 goals.
But they don't have injuries as an excuse. They have being like losers as an excuse.
Right. That's the difference here. But you give up 6 goals and an empty net goal and muster up 13 shots on goal through 40 minutes. against the Buffalo Sabres. All of these games lately have been must-win games, and they aren't even getting points in the standings. So right now, this is just a really, really, really bad hockey team.
I often, which everybody does in this industry and podcasting and whatnot, we like to shout out our wins a lot, things we were right about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I often talk about Bowen Byram. He's the only player from his draft class who's won the Stanley Cup, besides Spencer Knight, who was the third string goalie.
Yeah.
Like players who played and won the Stanley Cup. Bowen Byram's the only one. I wanted the Hawks to take him at 3. I still stand by that, and now he's playing incredible for Buffalo. And not only is he playing well, he's one of their true leaders now too. Just a remarkable player. Nailed that one. The year before, I thought Zegras was the 5th best player. He is from that draft. I didn't think Kakko would not be one of the players, around him. I wanted Booyam, 2nd overall.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Booyam is better than Levchinov.
Sure.
I don't know if it's long term.
I
I
do.
still think the ceiling, but nailed that. Well, let's talk about one of my failures, one of my absolute triumphs. No, not triumphs. What's the opposite of triumph? Ass.
Your downfall.
Downfall. I like ass better. I'm trying to find this tweet where I had it all laid out perfectly. The Toronto Maple Leafs are a dumpster fire. I don't know how I ever thought that there was a chance that they were going to do anything. Like, truly. I really am getting annoyed with myself that I'm having a hard time finding these things, which means that I went right over it. So they go out there and they play the way that they did against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And I am just straight up dumbfounded that they couldn't put together a better effort, knowing what was at stake, knowing what Mitch Marner return was for the franchise and the logo and all of it. Found the tweet. They lost 6-3 in Mitch Marner's return. So 3 of their 4 playoff series against the Boston Bruins, Matthews, Marner era, 3-1 series lead, then lost in 7. We talked about that. They've lost to an emergency backup goalie who works for them. The Zamboni driver.
Yeah.
David Ayers. They lost 4-2 in Mike Babcock's return to Detroit. Couldn't get a win against one of their rivals for their coach. They lost 6-1 in John Tavares' return to play the New York Islanders. And Phil Kessel, Nazem Kadri, and Tyler Bozak all left and won the Stanley Cup somewhere else.
Yeah, it's tough.
That franchise is rotten at the core with the players that they have. And I think they're toast. I think they're donezo.
I'm glad you're seeing this type of stuff now, VP.
Yeah. They had the talent. I still stand by that. I don't feel wrong about that. I think they were better. I think they were just as good as Florida last year. Now, Florida went on and they beat Edmonton, so it's kind of hard to say that in hindsight. But in the moment, they were right there with Florida. I think they would have won the Cup if they got through Florida. I really do. The Bruins. There's no player on the Bruins. At the time, Pasta's there now. But at the time when they were playing the Bruins in the playoffs every year, Matthews would have been the best player on the Bruins. They're just not a winning team. They don't find ways to win. They find ways to lose. And all the talent in the world can't overcome that.
Yeah.
Can't blame Chief, the coach. He won the Cup with St. Louis. So, we'll see. Frank, the Pittsburgh Penguins rock. You said you had some stuff you wanted to run through on that?
I'm just saying, right now, you got Crosby and Malkin leading the team in points. Feels like 2016 again. Skinner's been having a good season. Not great. I mean, it's good. There's not one goalie on the roster whose save percentage is above 900. So I wouldn't say he's having a great season. He's been, He's been everything that the Oilers did. He was
Been great since coming to Pittsburgh.
I mean, really, it's their offense production has been unbelievable and have really paved the way this season. Like I said, I wouldn't pick them right now to win the cup, but if they were one of those teams to go to the cup, they got that presence on the team, and they still have those players that know how to get it done in long series that it could happen. Not saying it's going to. Probably wouldn't pick it, but I would take them to win a series against another great team, is what I'm saying.
Since going to Pittsburgh, he is 7-4-0 with a .906 save percentage and a .231 goals against average, which are both above league average. And since going to Edmonton, Tristan Jarry has not been very good or hurt, one or the other. So, interesting trade for the Penguins. Evgeny Malkin is sick. I don't know where he gets off finding the fountain of youth the way that he has this season. Not that he's been like bad in other years, but like he's got 40 points in 36 games.
They lead the Penguins and score him and Crosby.
Yeah, I mean Crosby's been a 90-plus point player for. He hasn't really showed any signs of slowing down, but Malkin has dealt with injury a little bit in recent years, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But yeah, Crosby's got 27 goals and 30 assists for 57 points. I mean, it's nuts. And, you know, it won't be long before he's in the 1800s, and then he has another 100-point season the year after that, or 90, and then probably an 80-point season the year after that, and then he's within 20 points of 2,000. It's going to be crazy how that works. Which, speaking of that, Frank, you got to be a little mad. Alexander Ovechkin has 22 goals.
Now it doesn't really matter.
No, yeah, but I strongly believe 919 goals.
You think about,
no, only because I'm not sure he plays beyond this year. It hasn't been said. I think there's a chance.
I feel like he would have said. The NHL is going to run a market around it.
I know. They would want that. I just don't think – I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he says I want 1,000, and then he goes and does it. And I can laugh at you again on something Ovechkin related, because I believe if he wanted to, he could. If he came out tomorrow and said, I play till I hit 1,000 goals, I would come on this show next week, and we would start this thing all over again. I wholeheartedly. He's going to score 30 at 41 years old. Why can't he score 20 at 42? Get out of here. And you know it's true, too. I think you probably consider being on my side on if he said
1,000's crazy.
I'm not leaving till I get 81 more goals. He says that tomorrow. Frank, it'd be grounds to like call it foolish to like bet against it.
I probably would say he doesn't get it.
That's crazy.
I hope he comes out and says he wants 1,000.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. We'll give you chances to revoke the Crosby one, too. I'll give you the option at 1,800 points and 1,900. When he's at 1,900 in October of 28, and he'll need roughly 80 more points, it's going to be a fun year. Because they are going to celebrate that, I think. I don't know if it'll get the same level of celebration and anticipation that Ovi breaking the record did, but Crosby reaching 2,000 points will.
They'll stop the game probably.
Absolutely. I think so too. I couldn't agree more. They might stop the game when Patrick Kane breaks Modano's record, which we're going to touch on in a second. Whenever he does it, maybe it'll be Wednesday or Thursday tomorrow. Excuse me, against Washington. But you know what's funny, Frank? Right around the time Crosby does that, based on my kind of estimation that it'll be about 4 years, because this isn't Crosby's last Olympics either.
No, right?
No, you think?
No, how old is he? No,
38.
It might be his last one.
He will play in the 2030 Olympics, and that'll also be the year he hits 2,000 points.
I don't think so.
And roughly around that time, Frank,
Connor
McDavid will be 33 and have about 1,600 points. And We'll start right all over again.
Or
You
he'll
telling
get
me he's
2,000.
not going to make 2,000?
I think Connor McDavid will get 2,000 easy.
Why is it easy for him and not Crosby?
Because Crosby has never had years like Connor McDavid has had.
Yes, he has.
Crosby's had 150-point season.
I don't know about 150,
But that's what I'm saying.
but he has the most years of having 100 or 90.
Well, but McDavid will break that. McDavid is on a different level than Crosby in terms of scoring production, and it's not even close.
It's not. I do think era has something to do with that.
I think Connor McDavid will breeze past Crosby in terms of stats.
Oh, Frank, that's a lofty prediction.
Breeze.
I agree. Let me be clear, but I'm not against. I've made plenty of lofty predictions.
You will not even be able to bring it up as like a debate.
Frank, he needs close to 600 points to tie Crosby. And Crosby's nowhere near done.
Yeah, but McDavid's in his true prime.
Yeah, he's 28 years, 29.
This is like he's got like 5 or 6 more years of true prime.
I do think McDavid will end with more points.
It's like 600 points right there.
I agree McDavid's going to end with 2,000 points too. We're on the same page there. Where I find you crazy is thinking Crosby can't, but McDavid can. Because no matter what you think of McDavid being a little more productive in his prime, offensively, he's not going to have more than what Crosby's doing at 38. He'll probably have 90, 95 points just the same.
But by the time McDavid is Crosby's age, he will already be past what Crosby is at right now in terms of points.
That is possible, but we pray every day Connor McDavid doesn't miss 2 years with a concussion. If that never happens, you could probably throw about 150, 200 points on the Crosby's point total right now, and he would probably talk about breaking 2,000 next year.
Then it wouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah,
he would.
Yeah. So no, but I'm saying that to say, yeah, by 38, McDavid probably will have more points. Hopefully, he doesn't lose north. Hopefully, he doesn't lose. Yeah, don't lose north of 150 games due to injury. And McDavid lost half the season, or I guess it was probably close to a full season total of COVID. But Crosby played through 2 lockouts too.
That's true.
So we'll see. Frank, Patrick Kane, 1374, tied Mike Modano for the most points by an American-born player yesterday with a secondary assist on an Alex Debrincat goal.
Like a little Blackhawks reunion.
For Detroit, yeah, a little Blackhawks reunion. And then that absolute stud, Moritz Seider, had the other assist. Beautiful play to get it to Debrincat. What do you think of the Blackhawks legend there, making American history?
I love it. I want him to – well, he's just going to break it. I'm very happy for him. I love Patrick Kane. I have a theory on when he's going to break it. It makes sense. I see it happening against the Colorado Avalanche on January 31st. Just to do it against the best team in the NHL this year, it just the writing's on the wall. I could see a big game-winning goal from Patrick Kane to get the record on national TV. The game will be broadcast on ABC. I mean, what better for the NHL to have it on national TV? It just screams record-breaking to me. If for some reason he doesn't break it within the next week and he doesn't get a point, then it's going to be put on hold till the Winter Olympic break is over to the end of February. But something is telling me, big moment, not an assist, maybe a goal, a big moment against the Colorado Avalanche.
It's possible.
Which is that Saturday? I believe that's Saturday. Yeah, that's what I think. Definitely
possible. I just hope whatever game it is, they win. Because yesterday he tied it and they asked about him post-game. Yeah, it's cool, but we lost. So I don't know. I don't know if I can really think too much about it. So, and then they started talking about the game as if nothing happened. I was like, they got to win this game that this guy does that so he can actually care. And I'm like, and I wrote a tweet about it today. I'm like, that's why he won as much as he did. Because he tied such an incredible milestone and just doesn't care because they didn't win a random Tuesday night game. It's crazy to me, the winning pedigree. I hope he does it tomorrow against Washington, just so he can get it out of the way and be celebrated as the greatest American-born hockey player of all time. and then hopefully get the Wings into the playoffs. I'll say it.
They're gonna make.
I think they're gonna make it too. But like they deserve it, man, and they could go on a run. If they were in the Stanley Cup final, I would not be surprised.
That'd be
They would
awesome.
have to get through Tampa, of course. But like right now, they play a first round series against who would it be? Buffalo.
That'd be a
Or
good series.
I know, and I'm not crapping on Buffalo. We're gonna talk. I'm dedicating a whole period to them next week. That's why I left them off this week. Um, I'm not poo pooing Buffalo. They could win too. I'm not one of those guys who, because they sucked for the last, they're legit. It's larger than a sample size now. So, but yeah, Detroit, really cool story. Patrick Kane, we'll see. And then Frank, last hockey story that we're going to touch on, the Boston Bruins against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stadium Series on Sunday. What are you thinking about this game?
Should be a very good game. Both teams are playing high levels of hockey right now. They're both 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. The Lightning are one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. You could argue the Bruins are up there as one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now too. Should be a really great game. Something we haven't talked about regarding the Stadium Series is the jerseys, but I really like the jersey catalog for this game as well. I could see a lot of people trashing the Lightning's jerseys, and I hope they don't, but I really like them.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be an awesome game because it's color on color. You know how I feel about that, blue versus yellow.
Have the Lightning jerseys got any hate?
Yeah, I don't think people love them. I don't think they hate them as much as some others.
Okay.
Stadium Series jerseys are always, people want Winter Classic jerseys for Stadium Series jerseys, and they're never going to get it because the idea behind go look at every Stadium Series jersey ever put out. It's always big logo, big numbers, kind of a funky style. They want you to be able to see it from high up in a football stadium, that you're supposed to be able to recognize the players from anywhere. And trust me, I've been to a couple Stadium Series games. I think two or three, 7 outdoor games total. It's easier to see. I've seen both. It's easier to see players at a Winter Classic than a Stadium Series. Seeing hockey on a football field, it's broader. So that's kind of the point behind those jerseys, and they try to make it look a little more modern or fresh, where Winter Classic jerseys are always supposed to look old.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they do. So unless it's the Vegas Golden Knights against the Seattle Kraken 2 years, who aren't even two teams that aren't even a decade old. That was funny. But yeah, I'm expecting a good game. Both the Lightning and the Bruins are good. They play each other hard every time. There's a lot of firepower in a series like that. So I hope everybody enjoys the Stadium Series on Sunday, the week in between Championship Sunday and Super Sunday. So good way to spend a sports day without football. You better start getting used to it, though, Frank. There's one last bite on the sandwich.
One last bite at the apple.
Yep, I'm pumped, though. And we're going to talk about said football game in period number 3. Tune in next week if you want to see our predictions for Super Bowl 60. We're not going to give them today. You can hint at it by your evaluation of AFC Championship and NFC Championship. But Frank, describe what you saw over the weekend, what you liked, what you didn't, just any general notes from either game.
Yeah, the Patriots and Broncos was, a defensive battle. Very blizzardy weather, especially in the second half. The team that was going, towards the right had a strong disadvantage, I think. It was one or the other. There was a direction that the other team had a big advantage because of the way the snow was blowing. Stidham, he did the best that he could have in the conditions. They had a lead. It looked like, okay, is he going to be able to do something? I don't know. If the weather wasn't crappy, might not have been the same outcome, but nonetheless, the Broncos had the number 1 defense in the league this year, and it proved a defensive battle in the snow. There wasn't going to be a lot of points as it is. And then in the Rams and Seahawks games, a little bit different. A lot more points were scored. The Rams had a chance. They had a chance to take the lead, and the Seahawks defense shut them down late. Sean McVay decided to go for it on 4th down. They didn't get it, and after that, they didn't get the ball back till there was literally like 15 seconds left. There was not much time left on the clock. Seahawks, their offense, their defense was cooking, and it should be a defensive battle in the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that it's entertaining. I have a bad feeling we're in for a snoozer.
Interesting. I do think it's going to be entertaining. You have two top 7 defenses playing against each other. Two quarterbacks who we've seen dominate and two quarterbacks who we've seen struggle. That was the best game I've ever seen Sam Darnold play against the Los Angeles Rams. It was a close battle, but they pulled it out in the end. And then freaking Sean Payton's one of the best coaches in the NFL, but man, did he have a blunder. That was a badly coached game by Sean Payton, in my opinion. I'm pro going for it on 4th down most of the time. If you're within 3 yards, analytics, ruining sports, yeah. Numbers that back up historic events are stupid. Okay, got it. There's a time and a place, though, to use your brain, too. To not let the numbers totally cloud your judgment every single time. Not kicking a field goal to go up 10-0 for Denver. If they knew a monsoon was headed to Mile High. And I'm not talking like a rain monsoon. I'm talking like a bright white McFlurry monsoon hitting frickin' Mile High. I can't believe they didn't go up 10-0 and make it where they were at least. Although they knew. I heard Tom Thayer, who played on the '85 Bears, one of my favorite guests on Cap and J Hood Thayer Thursdays.
Yeah.
But yesterday he was on. I think he goes on. Was it Carmen and Yurko on Tuesdays? Because he's Cap and J Hood on Thursdays, but it was yesterday I was listening to him on. It was either Carmen and Yurko or Waddle and Sylvie. He goes, they know. I've been there. They know. They know better than anybody what's coming in. So, knowing that was coming in, not kicking a field goal, going up 10-0, knowing that the football probably wasn't going to be moved on offense too well, starting in about 15 minutes. And they showed, I don't know if you noticed the timeline. They showed the timeline first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and what the field looked like in those moments. I just can't believe the Broncos, they blundered it. I think they could have won.
Only thing I could think of that went through his head is, we know blizzard's coming. If we go up 14-0, we're going to the Super Bowl with that blizzard coming.
Yeah. But
That's
if you go up 10-0 though,
well, yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't have gone for it. I would have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
But that had to be the logic.
It had to have been. If you go up 10-0, then you need to give up 14 points in the snow to lose. Either 2 touchdowns or 3 scores to lose, which is just unlikely. I find it to be unlikely. And again, I'll go for it on 4th down. I don't have a problem with Ben Johnson. People got mad at Ben Johnson. The first 2 drives of the game, he went for it on 4th down.
No, I like going for it on 4th down.
One of the times he got it, one of the times he didn't. They were up 7-0. If he kicked a field goal both times, they would have been up 6-0. 7 better than 6. End of story. You lost me if you think they were I'm sorry. 7 is better than 6. I'm not saying you, just in general.
I like going for it on 4th down. I'm pro go for it on 4th down. I just think there's situations where you go for it
throw the analytics out the window. Absolutely.
But people go for it too much on 4th down. It's like what like the Broncos. That was, if it was like 4th and 2, 3, I would have went for it. But wasn't it like 4th and 7 or 5 or 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
If it's shorter than that, I'm going for it. But I'm taking the points in that situation.
When going for it was smart too? In the Seattle Rams game. The Rams, they went for it on 4th down. They were losing by
4.
They were losing by 4.
Well,
and there are people that think McVay's an idiot for not kicking a field goal. Why the F would you kick a field goal to go down by 1? You have to go for it there. The Rams defense was getting walked the entire game. Sam Darnold dominated them. You can't trust them. I don't even think it's a debate. I really don't. There are people debating it. I'm like, you do not kick a field goal in that situation. You have to go for the touchdown there and go ahead, because going down by 1, there's no difference. You would still have to get the ball back and come down and score again, which doing that before Seattle scores again was unlikely. And it proved to be true.
Yeah, if they kick the field goal, the same outcome probably happens. You're not going to get the ball back.
And if you do, to kick, you probably gave up a score.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had to go for the touchdown there and go up. Would that have put them up 3? And then you trust your defense.
Yeah.
Then you have to play some defense. But going down by 1, you're not getting the ball back. You're not getting the ball back. Not with any sufficient time to make up the points. Not going to happen.
You'd have to like purposely let them score and go down.
Yep.
And then
kick an onside kick.
No, and then go down. You'd get the ball back and then go down and get the 2-point conversion just to tie the game.
Yeah, that's right. And then if you don't, you have to kick an onside. It's a whole thing. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm glad you agree on that. You go for it, and you don't go down by 1. What? No.
If it's the third quarter, I'm kicking the field goal.
Maybe. I don't know.
It was like 4th and 7. I'm probably.
I think in the third quarter I go for it. Early midway through the 4th though. My defense is playing well. I definitely kick it then, I think. Like against the Rams, the Bears defense proved to actually be playing okay. You gained some trust for them as the game went on.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning of the game, Ben Johnson, he didn't like what he saw at the end of the Green Bay game. So he was kind of playing off that. So it's different every time. There are times where you gotta use your brain. You just gotta use your brain. All right, Frank, in the third period of next week, we will give predictions and go over the Super Bowl matchup against one another rather than recapping the games.
Good Super Bowl foods.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, yeah, for sure. We could do that. But for now, it's time for America's favorite podcast segment of the week, Breaking Bets.
Where's my money, bitch?
Players! The time for talk is over. The floor is yours.
All right, VP. I don't believe the slate in the NHL is that big today. I think there's only like 3 games. We got the game I really want to hone in on is the Colorado Avalanche and the Ottawa Senators. This line is really beefy. And 90% of the time on this podcast, I try not to provide beefy lines to you guys because a lot of bettors don't want the lines that are jacked up this high. But in reality, if it wasn't the Colorado Avalanche and the season they're having, I probably wouldn't have provided this pick. The Avalanche have lost 3 out of their last 5. That is probably why we see this medium-sized line against the Ottawa Senators, and it's not more. If Colorado wasn't having this unicorn-type season, I wouldn't tell you to take a team at this price on the road. But they dominated Ottawa last time. 8-2 they beat them. They aren't on any sort of streak right now, the Colorado Avalanche, so they're a very dangerous team. They aren't due for a letdown. So this just feels like a good old-fashioned beatdown for the Colorado Avalanche. So we're going to tell you to take the Colorado Avalanche money line minus 162, bet to win 5 units. And my other pick, little college basketball matchup. We got ourselves a good old-fashioned SEC matchup in college basketball tonight. A matchup that is always a huge scene in college sports, not just in college football, but also in college basketball as well. We have Tennessee versus Georgia. Tennessee's coming off a very nice road win against Alabama on the road, and Georgia's coming off a horrific 20-point loss against Texas. One of the most favorable sports with being the home team is college basketball. The Bulldogs, they're 11-1 at home this season, and Tennessee is 1-3 on the road this year. We're getting the Bulldogs at such an unbelievable price. The only thing that concerns me, which I usually try to stay away from, is Tennessee has historically owned this matchup, winning the last 5 meetings, but Georgia seems to be very improved from what we've seen over the last few years, and I like that Georgia's plus at home So we're going to tell you take Georgia money line plus 105 for 3 units.
Georgia's playing Tennessee.
Yep.
Have you ever heard the song Tennessee Orange?
Yeah.
I'm wearing Tennessee orange for him, but I still want the dogs to win. Love that song. Every year when Tennessee plays Georgia in football, I listen to it.
We got a big matchup, a nice SEC battle.
Do you think she's rooting for the dogs tonight? What's her name?
Oh, God.
I don't even know.
I don't know. God. There's no way I could pull this out.
Megan Maroney.
Yeah, there was no way I was pulling that. I know I recognize it now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no. It's gonna be. It's always a fun matchup. Tennessee, Georgia, man. It's just a classic college rivalry.
It is the college that Jonathan Hood from Cap and J Hood hates the most. He's a Georgia guy. He's a Georgia fan. And he says, oh, Alabama, Auburn, they don't bother me. Tennessee, though? I heard the UIC Flames won 7 games in a row.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, Jonathan Hood is he's the voice of the Flames.
Oh, wow.
So he calls their games, and they had a big win yesterday where they went ahead had a big defensive. Do they call it an interception in basketball when you pick off a pass? And he yelled interception though. Yeah. And Flames win. So go UIC Flames.
How about the Miami, Ohio Redhawks?
Are they 20-0?
21-0. They won.
21-0. They won.
They are ranked.
That's awesome.
Team from the MAC is ranked 24th.
Yep. No chance for NIU to make it, even if they had a good year, which I have no idea.
I mean, it's simply incredible.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
They would probably make it. I wonder if they lost the MAC title game, would they make it at large?
I don't know. I guess it depends how the rest of the season goes.
If they go undefeated and then lose the MAC title game to, let's say, Toledo. I don't know if Toledo's good.
They have to make it.
I would think they have to make it as an at-large, and you get 2 MAC teams in there.
Yeah.
Which would be so sick. That would be so sick.
If they're ranked heading into March Madness, they would have to be at least, you would think, a 8 seed or higher. They're not going to be a 1, but higher than an 8 seed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know who their wins are against, their strength of schedule or any of that. If they have any quality wins.
I thought they had hold on, let me pull up their schedule.
I don't know crap.
Lately.
I don't know.
I'm so excited. We're getting close to March Madness.
I know, and that's when I'll teach myself. But right now, blind.
I mean, they don't have big wins. But
okay. But to come out with 21 straight wins in any league, I think is you didn't have a single night where you were off. You won them all.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't played a ranked team, I don't think. But, I mean, they played UMass yesterday. I don't know how well they are. I mean, they scored 107 points against Kent State, and Kent State's no day at the beach. But Kent State's one of the top teams in the MAC, and they scored 107 against them.
Give me a Kent State, Miami of Ohio MAC title game. Kent State wins. Oh, Miami makes it as an at-large bid. 2 MAC teams in the tournament.
I'm looking at the rest of their schedule. I'm starting to think they're going undefeated because the rest of their games are MAC games. They don't play a ranked team this year. They're going undefeated. I have that feeling.
That would be sick. But then lose the MAC title game, get 2 MAC teams in the tournament. This is my last spring as a MAC guy.
Yeah.
So.
Could they win the tournament?
No. Could Michigan? Is Michigan good?
Michigan was ranked 5th.
Oh, I only ask. I think they're the best team in college hockey right now. And so I always wonder if the team could win both sports.
let's see. Hold on. Michigan's ranked third. My bad. They beat Nebraska, Nebraska's ranked fifth. They were 20-0, and Michigan gave them their first loss yesterday.
Damn.
Michigan's 19-1.
Damn.
So they're good. They could win it all.
I like that. I mean, I would right now think Michigan is ranked 1 in college hockey.
Really?
They're 11-3-0.
See, Big Ten dominates college football, and they seem to choke in college basketball.
Oh, they're 11-3-0 in conference play. They're 24-0.
Who? Michigan?
In hockey, yeah. And Penn State's 18-6-0 with Gavin McKenna.
Really?
Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, Frank. All right, Frank. That's enough from me. I got a big mouth. I got to let it go. I thank everybody for tuning into the chat, listening to Frankie's nonsense for over an hour and just my absolute brilliance.
Yep.
You're listening to the smartest, best looking, dopest podcaster in the world. What is that from?
Traders.
Who said it?
Michael Rappaport.
Alan Cummings went on the Kelly Clarkson show and said that there's an episode that is carnage.
That's what I was going to tell you.
The greatest episode
Yep.
that he's ever seen in any TV show. He described it as carnage, and then Kelly tried to dig out from him what happens or what episode it is. He confirmed it is an episode where you hear that he's inviting people to a banquet.
He said episode 7.
And it's episode 7, which is the one
tomorrow.
that comes out tomorrow night.
Oh,
So apparently tomorrow night, the greatest episode of television, reality television at least, will air on Peacock.
He better not have played it up, man.
I don't think he would. I really don't. Because he knows. Then if you do that and the ep stinks or is just a typical. Every Traders episode is good. If it's just a standard good episode, then he knows like saying that will carry no weight in the future. You have
You're
to
caught up, right?
No, I'm caught up.
Yeah, last week's episode was very good.
It was very good. Agreed.
A lot of drama, very good.
I could see it being better than that, so we'll see.
If it's not better than that, he let us down.
Yeah. And his word won't be trusted as much.
Nope.
I'll still love the show.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. All right, Frank. To everybody, thank you all for coming. We enjoyed having you. It's been a great time. We'll see you next Wednesday where we start to preview Super Bowl 60 and the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. And as always, thank you for listening.
We're talking hockey, we always will! BarDown! Let's go!